Have you ever felt like you're running a race on a treadmill that someone else is controlling? You change your job, you end a toxic relationship, you move to a new city, but 6 months later, you look around and realize the scenery is exactly the same. The faces have changed, but the drama is identical. Most people call this bad luck. Some call it destiny. But in the world of quantum mechanics, we call it entanglement. In our previous deep dive, which you can catch right here in the link above, we laid the foundational groundwork for how the universe codes your reality. We explored the terrifying truth that you aren't just an observer, you are the source of the collapse. If you haven't watched that yet, I highly suggest you start there. It's the prerequisite for the cheat code we're about to discuss today. Because today, we're going into the shadows. We're talking about the invisible strings, the specific, persistent entanglements that keep 99% of people locked in cycles of poverty, generational trauma, and social stagnation. This isn't about physics formulas or abstract theories. This is about your life. It's about why you keep becoming the very person you promised you'd never be. It's about why your bank account has a glass ceiling that your hard work can't seem to break. We're going to dissect how these quantum threads are woven into your childhood, your social circle, and even your DNA. And more importantly, I'm going to hand you the Scissors, a 3-step protocol to induce quantum decoherence and finally, cut the cords to a past that no longer serves you. I'm Elias, and this is the second chapter of our journey into the light. Let's get to work. Most of us keep running, hoping to find a version of life that doesn't hurt, yet we keep tripping over the same invisible roots. Here is the truth. Entanglement isn't some complex equation written on a chalkboard. It's the muscle memory of every loss you've ever felt, baked so deeply into your DNA that you no longer know where the past ends and you begin. In the quantum world, objects don't exist until they are touched by light, until they are seen. But here's where we fail. We don't see with our eyes, we see with our scars. If you grew up breathing the air of scarcity, your pupils have adjusted to the dark. Now, even when you stand in the middle of a gold mine, you're still squinting, looking for the shadows. You aren't observing a lack of money or a lack of love. You are bleeding it into the world. You're projecting your internal ache onto the blank canvas of tomorrow and wonder why the paint always comes out gray. You aren't a victim of a cruel universe. You are a victim of static sight. You've been staring at the sun of your old trauma for so long that you've burned its image into your retina. Everywhere you look, that's all you see. To heal, we have to do more than just think positive. We have to stop the bleeding. We have to identify exactly where these invisible cords are tethered to your soul, in your heart, in your home, and in the hands of the people you keep around you. Let's start by looking at the first place you're being held back, the trap of emotional mimicry. Why you keep waking up in the same bed with a different person, but the same familiar ache. In physics, there's a phenomenon where two systems in proximity begin to vibrate at the same frequency. In your life, we call this emotional mimicry. Most people think they are out there looking for love, but the truth? You aren't looking for a partner, you are looking for a reflection. If your internal landscape is scarred by a belief that you only matter when you are saving someone, you will unconsciously filter out every healthy, stable person who crosses your path. To your quantum retina, a stable person looks boring or empty. Why? Because they don't offer you a place to bleed. Instead, you find yourself magnetically pulled toward the house on fire. You find the person who is drowning, the one who is broken, the one who mirrors that secret, unhealed chaos inside you. You think you're being a hero, but in reality, you are just reenacting a script. You are collapsing a reality where you are the savior, because that's the only frequency where you feel at home, even if that home is burning down. This is the spooky action of your past. You aren't dating a person. You are dating an entangled ghost. You keep trying to fix them, hoping that if you can finally save them, you'll finally heal yourself. But because you are observing them through the lens of their brokenness, you are actually anchoring them to it. You are pouring your light into a sinkhole and wonder why the room is getting darker. Until you stop breathing life into the savior role, you will continue to summon victims into your life. It's not a curse, it's a quantum match. Let's talk about why most people spend their entire lives working themselves to the bone, only to stay exactly where they started. It's because they're trying to build wealth using a manual labor mindset, while their quantum field is stuck in a starvation reflex. Money isn't just paper or numbers on a screen. It's a form of circulatory energy. Think of it like blood. When your body is healthy, the blood flows without you thinking about it. But what happens when you're terrified? Your muscles tense up. Your vessels constrict. You stop the flow to protect the core. Most of you are living your financial lives in a state of permanent muscle spasm. Every time you pay a bill and your chest tightens, that's a quantum signal. Every time you look at a luxury you want and tell yourself, I could never afford that, you aren't just stating a fact, you are clutching your pulse. You are telling the universe that you are a closed system. And in physics, a closed system eventually withers. You think you are chasing success, but the act of chasing implies that what you want is running away. You are entangled with the pursuit, not the possession. You've conditioned your nervous system to only feel alive when you are struggling, so your quantum field dutifully collapses more obstacles for you to climb over. You aren't earning a living. You are suffocating your potential. The elite don't hold money. They breathe it. They understand that to have more, you have to stop the internal shivering. You have to relax the fist so the sand can actually stay in your palm. Until you stop reacting to money as a threat, you will never be able to dance with it as an ally. Have you ever felt like you're carrying a weight that doesn't belong to you? Like you're living out a story you didn't write? In our first video, which you can revisit via the link in the corner, we talked about how your observation collapses your individual world. But there is a deeper layer, the quantum inheritance. You didn't start this life as a blank slate. You started it as an echo. Think of it like this. You are wearing a heavy wool coat that's been passed down through 5 generations. It's soaked with the rain of your father's regrets and the sweat of your grandmother's survival. You've worn it so long that your spine has curved to match its weight. You don't even realize you're hunched over anymore. You just think that's how the world looks. This is the entanglement of loyalty. Most of us are unconsciously terrified of being happier or more successful than our parents. To thrive where they struggled feels like a betrayal. If your grandfather's identity was defined by the grind and the sacrifice, your quantum field will sabotage your ease. Every time you're about to make a breakthrough, you'll feel a sudden, unexplainable urge to pull back. It's a biological tug at the base of your skull. You are subconsciously choosing to stay in the dark with them, just so they don't have to be alone in their pain. You aren't just like your father, you are breathing his unfulfilled dreams. You are mirroring the rhythm of a tragedy that ended before you were born. But here is the shift. You weren't born to be a sequel. You were born to be a conclusion. You are the point in the bloodline where the cycle is supposed to snap. Have you ever noticed that after spending an afternoon with certain friends, you feel like you've been physically drained? Like your ambition has been replaced by a heavy, lukewarm fog? In biology, there is a phenomenon where different organisms in a shared environment begin to sync their heartbeats and breathing. In your social life, this is quantum gravity. Most people think a social class is defined by bank accounts. It's not. It's defined by a shared observation. Imagine you are standing in a pool of lukewarm water with 10 other people. It's comfortable, it's safe, but it's stagnant. The moment you try to jump out, the moment you decide to write your own rules and chase a vision that frightens them, you create a ripple. And the collective weight of their doubt, their cynicism, and their need for you to stay the same acts like a literal drag on your nervous system. This is the entanglement of the mediocre. When you are in a room where everyone is venting about the economy, complaining about their bosses, or mocking those who try harder, you are breathing in an infection. Your mirror neurons are constantly scanning their low-frequency signals and forced syncing your brain to match theirs. You aren't just hanging out. You are drowning in a collective script. This is why upward mobility feels so exhausting. It's not just the work. It's the fact that you are fighting the vibrational glue of everyone you've ever known. They don't have to say a word to hold you back. Their very presence acts as a measurement that forces your reality to collapse back into the version they recognize. To rise, you have to be willing to be the arrhythmic element. You have to stop looking for permission from the people who are comfortable in the lukewarm water. You have to realize that until you change the room, you are just a prisoner of the crowd's heartbeat. Now that we've identified where you're bleeding, it's time to pick up the tools and perform the surgery. These aren't just tips. These are protocols to force quantum decoherence. I know, it sounds like a line from a textbook, but think of it as the moment a fever breaks. It's the process of becoming unsynced. It's that split second where you stop vibrating with the ghosts of your past and return to your own original frequency. It's the act of snapping the thread. To change your life, you have to become noise to the people and the traumas that used to own your rhythm. Here is how you use the 3 scissors to cut yourself free. The first scissor, the protocol of indifference. Most people try to break a bad connection with anger. They scream, they hate, they obsess. But in the quantum world, hate is a high-tension wire. Every time you curse your ex or vent about your boss, you are pumping fresh energy into the entanglement. You are keeping the signal alive. The first cut is silence. You need to become invisible to their frequency. This means more than just blocking a number. It means a total sensory shutdown. When that person or that memory tries to trigger you, you don't fight it. You don't react. You observe it with the cold curiosity of a scientist looking at a dead specimen. If it doesn't move your heart, it doesn't own your energy. You starve the ghost until it simply fades away. The second scissor, somatic rehearsal. You've cut the old cord, but you need to anchor into a new one. Most of you wait for the money to arrive before you feel secure. That's backwards. You have to inhabit the body of the winner before the trophy appears. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a memory and a vision. Start acting as if the outcome is already a physical reality. When you pay for a coffee, don't let your hand tremble with scarcity. Feel the weight of abundance in your palm. Walk with the posture of someone who has already won. You are observing a new version of yourself so intensely that the universe has no choice but to collapse the reality that matches your skin. You aren't pretending, you are recoding your biology. The third scissor, defying the gap. This is where most people fail. There is a delay between your internal shift and the external world catching up. We call this the incubation period. The universe is going to test you. It's going to show you an empty bank account or a lonely room one last time to see if you'll flinch. If you react with anxiety, you just re-entangled with the old script. You have to learn to hold your breath under the water. When the world looks like it hasn't changed, you smile. You stay in that unreasonable state of conviction. You wait for the world to bend to you, not the other way around. Let the bullet fly. It's already hit the target. You're just waiting for the sound of the impact. You were never meant to be a ghost in your own life. You weren't born to be a reaction to your father's fear or a mirror for your neighbor's cynicism. You are the primary observer. You are the one whose gaze forces the infinite ocean of probability to stop and freeze into the reality you see before you. The three scissors I've given you today, indifference, rehearsal, and conviction, they aren't just mental exercises. They are the act of taking your hand off the hot stove. They are the process of reclaiming your energy from the people and the memories that have been feeding on you for years. But remember, this is a journey. If you find yourself slipping back into the old rhythm, don't panic. Go back to our first chapter. The link is right there. If this resonance feels right to you, if you're ready to rewrite your own rules alongside me, then join the collective. Hit the subscribe button and become part of us. Let's change the room together. Because here is the secret. Stopping the pain is only the beginning. In a few days, we're going to release the final chapter of this series. In the third and final part, we're going to talk about the leap. We're going to discuss how to use this same quantum power to manifest levels of wealth, influence, and legacy that most people think are impossible. I'm Elias. Stay in your frequency.